Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our small business session. I'm very excited to share with everybody today some about Canva. Now, I do want to qualify that I don't think anyone's going to become a Canva expert by the end of this 45-minute or so presentation. But what I do hope is that you'll have some good tips to making more professional flyers. And you'll see, I'm going to send a bunch of tools out to you guys. Canva has some amazing videos to watch, just short ones. We're going to watch one today that will help you to really become an expert in that. But we're going to walk through a bunch of things that are available on Canva so you can kind of see that and then go forward from there. So if you have any questions as we go through, please do not hesitate to interrupt and jump in and ask questions. And I will be asking you all some questions. So yes, you have to participate in this presentation. So our very first tip is to always look at who is your target. And of course, everyone's quick answer is everyone's my target. I want everybody to come in and buy, or everyone to support my mission, or everyone to do this. But those are usually not very effective ads, flyers, Facebook posts, all those things that you can create in Canva. So my question for you all is, who is the target of this ad, that is this flyer here that you see up on the screen? Come on, jump in. You got to give me an answer.
I'm
dog owners.
Dog owners, and especially
people with dogs who aren't trained.
That's right. Or new puppies, dogs who aren't trained. Right. So we really want to focus. I mean, not everyone is going to go to the Greenville Area Dog Club. Not everyone's going to need their services. I don't have a dog. They're lovely people, but I don't need their services. So you really want to come up with headlines and graphics right from the start that grab the people that you are really wanting to reach. Now, I am a dog lover, but not a dog owner at this point. So I'm going to actually stop and look at this, because if you put a dog video on Facebook or an ad with a dog, guess what? It's going to catch my attention, because I love dogs. And I love cats too, but dogs, I don't know. I'll watch any dumb dog reel or dog TikTok that you put out there with a cute dog in it. I'm probably going to click on it and watch it. So you really want to focus that large, like I said, the large text image and your large text and your largest images and things, call outs for who you are targeting. So really define that when you're thinking about creating a flyer. Is it going to be for a professional audience? Is it going to be for a home audience? Something I've learned over the years is, if we are reaching out, we're going to talk a little bit about that. If you're reaching out to an elderly audience, there is a reason why the commercials on TV get much louder for Medicare and Medicaid commercials than they do for anything else. And that is because they're reaching out to an elderly audience. So make the text big, avoid background colors, so you want that highest contrast if you are reaching out to folks that are, say, I'm going to put myself in that category, 55 and over. You really want clear, large, high contrast text that they can really see. It makes a difference, and add color in cool ways, but nothing necessarily that will make it harder to see for folks over a certain age. That becomes a little different with younger people, but definitely for folks that are older, you want to do that. So our second tip, and this is a big thing with me, is don't make me work for it. Don't make me work to understand what your ad or your flyer or your Facebook post is about. If I have to sit and study it, I'm not going to. That's just the reality. I'm not going to do it. It's going to come and go quickly. So what is the message of this Facebook post? And yes, this is one of ours. So
it's easy to purchase.
Yeah. Buy chamber gift certificates, right? And you can also tell that it's a holiday theme. How do you know it's a holiday theme? Christmas theme.
Picture.
Yeah. She's got a Santa hat on. We've used red and green colors, which is a color scheme that under normal circumstances I would never use. I would not use generally the complementary colors together like that, but red and green are the Christmas colors. You really want that to stand out. So both of these flyers, these first two, are templates. And we're going to talk a lot about the templates that Canva has. So all of that, the dog, the prints, all of that was actually already a template in Canva that I searched for and found. And then I just had to switch out the text. This one was a little different. I think I ended up switching a couple things, the image and different things, because of exactly what I wanted it to say. But they make those templates make it so easy to really look professional and be successful. So we know it's Christmas season because of those god-awful red and green colors together. And we know from the image, and she's stressed. So we're trying to like reach out to folks. So that's kind of a fun Facebook post that we did about buying chamber gift certificates. And then the next one, okay, let me make sure. There we go. The next one is a very different flyer that we sent out, or different, I guess this was the flyer that we sent out. This was for our State of the State luncheon. And one of the big things with Don't Make Me Work For It is the old newspaper, the 5 W's, who, what, where, when, and why. I cannot tell you all the number of flyers that I get in this office where they want me to put it in the weekly update, or they want us to share it somehow. And I look and it doesn't say where it is. It'll say when it is, but not where, because they'll have the name of the top, Darke County Chamber. Well, is it at our offices? Is it at Romer's? Is it, all these different places something could be. And when you are inviting the public, you really need to make sure you put that on there. I know it, and this is such small town, and I'm going to include Greenville in that, but especially the outlying areas. When we first moved to a very small town, not in Darke County, but another county, I would ask where something was, like 4-H, where are they meeting? And they would say, oh, it's so-and-so's house. And it'd be like, well, I don't know where that is. So make sure that you include an address. Now, I don't have an address on this flyer for Romer's, but everything else that went out, confirmations and things, actually had the address, so that if somebody doesn't know where Romer's is, they don't have to ask me or look it up themselves. So make sure you include those 5 W's. That's a big one. Again, now everything I'm going to tell you today has exceptions. And Ernie's been in the ad business for a long time, and he'll tell you sometimes you want them to call to find out the where, or sometimes you want them to call to find out different things. So there are exceptions to everything. And if that's your strategy, that's fine. But you do need to make sure that you're being strategic and not just forgetful. So does anybody have anything to say about that second point there with the don't make me work for it? All right. Nope. All right. We're going to breeze through these here. So the third tip is don't embarrass me. And then I went and embarrassed myself, which I just broke all my own rules here with the email I sent out. It was late at night. I should never send emails late at night. I thought, I'm going to do that so I don't have to do it in the morning. And then I sent it off without waiting to look at it. And I had Thursday on there, and I think it was Melanie that pointed it out for me. Thank you, Melanie. That it wasn't Thursday, it was Wednesday. I had the right date, had the wrong day. So my own horror story and people did check on this one. And Melanie, this is where it comes in. As long as you never get this bad, you will never beat me. So you'll always feel good about yourself if you make a mistake. When years ago, when I worked for our soil and water in Allen County, we had a ditch project that we were going to do, and we sent out postcards to 35,000 homeowners and farmers and anyone who owned property in multiple counties. And every one of them had the wrong phone number on it. And it wasn't just the wrong phone number. That was my fault. And I showed it to people in the office. Everybody looked at it. No one caught the phone number being wrong. People were calling angry. They were going to get an assessment, and they were calling this lovely elderly couple in Lima, yelling at them and screaming at them over the phone. So it was just an awful. The newspaper the next day had a big headline, top of the page, soil and water sends out 35,000 wrong postcards. Oh, here's the right information. Oh yeah. So until you get to that point, it was on the local news. We had to go on the local news and straighten it all out and apologize. So until you get to that point, you'll never be worse than me. So you would think I would have learned that lesson so deeply I would never, ever, ever make a mistake again. But no, that is not the case. So it does happen. Just roll with it. You know, I sent everybody who had signed up a correction. It had the right date, so I wasn't too worried about it. And we record these, so if they come looking for it later and they can find it. So, you know, we are human. We do make mistakes, but try to do everything that you can. It does ding your professionalism, I feel like, if you send things out, and especially spelling and grammar mistakes. That's one of my big pet peeves. I apparently have like number dyslexia or something. I can never get the dates right on things, but that's why Kim is there to look over things for me. And that's what happens when I send an email out late at night without letting anybody look at it. So it does happen. And you will be embarrassed, but those things happen. So, you know, and one of the big things is giving yourself time. That is one, is to set aside, even if it's an hour or two, put it aside, come back, look at it again. A lot of times you will catch the mistakes that you had. So does anybody have any questions or comments on tip number 3? Don't embarrass me. All right, moving on to 4 and 5. We're going to do these two together. So tip number 4 is wet the font, and tip number 5 is color me bad, which if you're a child of the 90s, you will recognize that amazing super group. So I am going to give you a disclaimer on these next 2 ads. And as I was telling Ernie earlier, I tried to pull ads that were from far away, so we didn't offend anybody locally. But these are some horrible examples of font and color usage. And then we'll get to some good tips afterwards. But I want you to just, you know, watch your eyes here. They are really bad. So this is an ad.
Wow.
Yep. That, so, I mean, let me ask the questions. Who's the target audience for this ad? I guess it's people who want to buy a buggy or golf cart. But there is so many things wrong with this ad, with the white tree background. I'm not even sure what that is. The green blobs and the very small text that even on my bigger screen, I cannot read. I cannot even begin to read. So if this is what your ad looks like, color is important and bad. Now, this could have been made with the same probably information, although this is a lot of information too for a print ad. And I'm not sure if it was supposed to be like a trifold piece or something, but man, anybody have any comments on that one?
I just don't get what the purpose is of the white plants in the background. Anyway.
There's a lot happening there. There is a lot happening there. And that's where, honestly, that's where you have to be careful. Sometimes you can pull in a template and you can start messing with that template. And maybe originally it had a nice muted cream color behind the white where it was barely noticeable or something. And you can get a little too far sometimes and watch that contrast behind your text. That is a big one. So even this could have been made better with, instead of green bubbles, I would get rid of that white thing. But the white, like adding white panels with that text on it in a high contrast color would have been so much better. Even if you had all of that text, it would have been 1,000 times better. So, all right, so we're going to move on to the next ad. And my question for you is, what is this an ad for? So that's my first question. What is this an ad for?
Insurance, maybe? Oh, carpet.
Keep trying.
Cleaning service.
Yeah. I'm not sure why he is in a doctor's coat. I'm not sure why it talks about healthcare at the top. I'm really not sure why they have red text on a green explosive background.
Yeah. Terrible.
Yeah, this is like, I laughed when I saw this. It was so bad. So He's in Louisville. We'll probably never meet him, but if he's a family member or something of someone, I apologize, but it's a bad ad. So yeah, so again, fonts, colors, there's a picture of him, then there's the little graphic with the dog, and there is just so much going on. And then all of the stuff at the bottom, speed drying. I don't know that I need a photo of a speed dry. I don't even know, is that a speed dryer? I'm not even sure what that blue and black thing is at the bottom. Right. And then carpet vitamins, and there's like an ad within an ad, and it's just
too much.
It's awful. So thinking about that target audience, thinking about having a single clear message where it's just boom, there it is. That will improve your flyers, your ads, your Facebook posts so much. If I saw this on Facebook, I might stop, only because I'm interested in really bad examples of graphic design. So, so here are the good things you should do. Always remember, more is not better. One of the things I love about Canva, and I'll show you this in a few minutes, is that you can import your logo and it will pull up a color palette based on your logo and be preset. So when you want to customize a flyer, you can actually click on that, set it to my colors, and it will customize that template to your colors, which is very nice. Very quick way to do that. That is a big one. And so that can be done in Canva. Now you can put as many fonts on in any software you're going to use. They're going to let you put as many fonts on there as you want. But again, if you use those preset templates, they are usually limited to no more than 2 fonts. Anything more than that, and your brain really starts to shut down. If I go back up, I don't even know how many different fonts we've got going on in some of these bad examples. So you really want to stick to no more than 2. You can do just a readable, whether it's a Times Roman kind of font or an Arial. There's a million versions of those right now. So an Arial is a font that doesn't have serifs, which that's what's here on my PowerPoint. A serif is a little like the S, has the little lines on it. So go one way or the other. And then for maybe some contrast or a title, use a script or something like that you really want to make a big statement with. But please do not use scripted fonts for your text throughout your document. That is really hard to read. Secondly, can you read it? If you can't read it, when you know what it says, no one else is going to be able to read it. I've talked about the complementary colors before. So go back to, elementary school where you learned your color wheel. And the complementary colors are actually colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. So blue and orange, purple and yellow, red and green. You kind of want to avoid a lot of that unless you're really making a statement. Again, Christmas time is the one big I'm stuck on a word, is your one big exclusion. You can use red and green for Christmas time. I will allow that. We'll allow that. One of the things that I do here a lot and is I will actually print out what I want. We just did the cover for our annual membership book. And I liked the design, but I wasn't sure about the colors on the thing. So I actually printed out in different colors and I hung it up on my door where I had to walk past it in my office for days. I had 3 or 4 different options hanging there. And I was like, okay, what catches my eye? What feels right? And so I gave myself some time to live with that design and to look at it from a distance to really get a good feel on what I liked with that. And that's a great tip. Even if you don't have a lot of time, print it out, hang it up, and look at it, from a few feet back. And that makes a huge difference. And if you're doing something large like a billboard or anything that people are going to go past, remember always that people are moving past it very fast. If you have a billboard, they're moving past at 55 miles an hour and they're going to get about 3 or 4 words, and that's all they're going to get, and a picture. So keeping those designs super simple, keeping that idea, you can have them follow up for all the detailed information. But if it's a flyer, an ad that you just want the information, keep it short and sweet. And this is, again, where the Canva templates are so helpful. And again, we're gonna watch a video and then we're gonna see how those work.
Hey, Peggy, you know what?
Yeah.
Can I add something?
Absolutely, jump in there.
if you're doing something that's a digital ad,
Mhm.
you want to make sure it looks good laptop
Yep.
and then also on your iPhone or your
Right.
smartphone, because believe me, they can transition into those two different formats and look really bad,
Yes.
mobily, and probably mobile is the one where you want to make sure it looks the best in
Right.
over the two. But yeah, I've run into that too.
Yeah. So one of the, again, with Canva, and I'm going to run you guys through this kind of all at once. So one of the cool things with Canva is you can actually resize what you do. So like going back to the ad that we had for let me see, I'm going to page up. So this one for the State of the State luncheon. Now I had to adapt it every time, but I think this is an 8.5 by 11 or close to it size for a piece of paper. I also did it. You can literally click and say, resize this to a Facebook post, and it will resize it to a Facebook post, which is wonderful. And it will resize everything, which makes a whole bunch of things too small, which I had to eliminate the about us. I had to eliminate some other things because on Facebook, I have the ability to throw a link out. I don't need all of that information there. So the ability to, once you get your template established for something, adapt that into those different formats is one of the great things that I have learned to love about Canva. So this is just another design thing. This is the last design thing before we kind of get into Canva. This is something that I'm always fascinated by. So there's something called the golden spiral. There's a whole bunch of the golden ratio, different things that are art and math combined together. But we're just going to keep it real simple and talk about the rule of thirds. So one thing you can do is pull your look at your graphic, and you can do it with a pencil. You can do it with your software, probably. Divide it into 9 even squares. So 3 across, 3 down. Doesn't matter. They're not going to be squares, but 3 across, 3 down. And it will help you find your balance in your design. And I'm going to show you some good examples of flyers that really embrace this. So this is literally a template I pulled off of Canva. I didn't do anything to it. This is exactly how it appeared. And so I want to show you this with that rule of thirds. I'm going to move you guys out of the way so I can see this. If you notice where it says volunteer needed, that's in the top 1/3, left 1/3. Almost the only thing that your eye is really going to see in that top right third is their logo. So and then the 2/3 line goes right down her face. They intersect their registration times. Those are the focal points that you really want people to see. The focal point on the bottom left there is right at the bullet points. So when you are creating your flyers, look at those sorts of things. Canvas templates do this beautifully. They're already set up this way. But if you're creating something and you really want to get that clean design, throw that grid over top of what you're doing, and you'll be amazed if you start adjusting things to that rule of thirds, how it will line up. Now, here's another one. Again, just pulled this off Canva as one of their templates. Didn't touch anything about it. And these lines are a little fainter, but you can see the 2/3 line runs right down the row of photos. The photo is the top third of the page. And that focal point on the bottom left, again, is right where the text is. It's right where you want people's eyes to go. And our brains work this way. It is a miraculous thing that our brains, doesn't matter what part of the world you're in, it doesn't matter what you like or what colors you like, your brain wants this symmetry is pleasing to everybody. It's fascinating to me that our brains are so hardwired this way, but this truly is something that works. And there's a reason why this looks appealing. And if I had taken that same and put it over this, you would find it's a mess. It doesn't work. So think about that rule of thirds. Okay, so we've talked about the rule of thirds. We've talked about all of this, and I'll go through. We'll have time to go through the process. Couple more things. Number 7, get the picture. This is so important that people understand in our new digital age. This is actually why Kim and I started using Canva, was the stock photography catalog that comes with Canva. So many of, for years, we've all done it. We've all gone out to Google and found a picture that we like and we throw it up on our website. So I am seeing chamber after chamber in the different groups that I'm part of are now finding that there are bots crawling the internet. And if you have used a photo that you are not licensed to use, they are sending them cease and desist letters and charging a fine to those companies. So be very, very careful that you own the legal rights to use the photo that you use. And I believe the only kind of caveat with Canva's photos, and you would have to look through as you sign up, is that you have to adapt that photo in some way. So I have adapted, this was a photo that I found on Canva. I have adapted it by adding Human Resource Council, the title, and our logo. So that's now a new graphic. I'm not trying to sell that graphic as a stock photo there. I'm either importing it into a document that I'm using. So that's just getting them protection so that you're not trying to sell their stock photos, I believe. So you do have to do some sort of adaptation with it, but you're going to anyway as you add it to your documents and your templates. So this is, they have a massive catalog of stock images, photos, graphics. It's amazing what's there. So this is a really bad sample, and I did just go to Google and pull this one off. So there you go. Because I wanted a bad example. Do you see how pixelated this image is?
Yeah.
So when you go to Google, you have no control, not only over owning the photo, but a lot of times you have very little control over the quality of the image. And if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, look at, especially on her left arm, where her sleeve and her arm intersect. You can see where the color is all messed up, where the blue and the black intersect. It's bad. If you're using any kind of photo that looks like this in your Facebook post and your marketing, please stop. It makes you look incredibly unprofessional. The other thing I see people do all the time, and it makes me absolutely insane, is they want to add a photo to something, but it doesn't fit where they want it. So they smash the photo. They distort the photo. Please, please, please do not do that. We just had an ad that we saw, Kim and I saw, where the people looked like they were like 7 feet tall and their water bottles were this big because they had stretched it lengthwise. And it's like, no. So make sure that you crop a photo, don't distort it. So you can do that in Canva, you can do that in Publisher, you can do it in Word, you can do it in a lot of places. But please, please, please crop, do not distort. She looks very strange. And here's the other design pet peeve. And I'm going to ask you, which way is the right way that she should be facing on this slide, and why?
I'd say the one on the top, because she's drawing your eye into what you want them to focus on.
Right. This one isn't as bad because she isn't like facing away, but that wall behind her gives that visual that the image is moving to the right. And so you don't want your people looking off the page. You don't want them running off the page. Again, always an exclusion to every rule, because sometimes you do want it to look like that because you want them to flip the page. But that's rare. Most of the time you want them to be facing into the page. So depending on what side of the page. The other thing to always look for if you flip a photo is if they have anything on that has letters on it, because if they do, it's going to be backwards and it's really going to look awkward. So don't do that. So that is, anything else anybody wants to add to those about photos? I cannot stress enough in this day and age, make sure you have the legal right to use that photo. People are getting hit hard with that. You really want to make sure that that is your legal right to use. My husband and I just had an argument about that. He said, well, if they put it out on the web, it's as a nope, doesn't work that way. People still have ownership. So the last tip here before we get into showing you some actually in Canva is a call to action. It's so important. Now, this is a great ad, and I put this in our SACA, or in our weekly update just a few weeks ago. It's from SACA, from our Anthem Blue Cross health insurance plan. And it does have a call to action, but it's hard to find. And that is the read more would be a link. But the problem is they sent me this as an attachment to an email. So I don't have the read more link anymore. So when they put it out, it had a read more link. I don't have that link anymore. So when you're sending stuff out, make sure if it has a call to action, that you have that call to action clear, and that if it's a link that they're supposed to click, that actually shows up as part of the email somewhere. So I went ahead and ran with it, and I figured out the link and I put it at the bottom. So the other thing that we can use, and I really like this flyer that I got not long ago from Everhart. Again, good one. We see who it's for, and we see what it's for. They've got the time, they've got the date. And this was not an invite to the public. This was looking for sponsorship, so it doesn't have the place, but that's okay. And clearly outline what they want. They have a call to action to call or email. The other thing we do a lot is QR codes for printed material. QR codes are for printed material. QR codes are for printed material. You don't need a QR code if you have a digital piece, because you can include the link in the digital piece. You don't need to include that QR code. But if anybody want to hold their phone up right now and scan one of those? You can scan either one.
Goes to a YouTube video.
Yeah. What YouTube video is it?
Well, I got an ad here.
Ah,
Hold on. Rick asked.
yeah, you got
Ask me.
rickrolled. You got rickrolled.
Yes.
So
Donate now.
So you can scan, you can create these QR codes. You actually, I will send you guys the link to the QR code generator that I generally use. The bottom one is actually our website. So it's just an easy way. Folks can pick up their phone. A lot of people know how to use it, and you can put it on your print piece and it'll take them right to your website or registration site or whatever you want to link them to. It doesn't matter, as long as you have the HTTP address, you can send them there and create that QR code. And super easy to add to things. And it does, I think, help improve your traffic a little bit. So people don't have to, especially if you have a long internet address that you're sending, website address, something that you're sending them to for registration, it can be nice to have that rather than having to type everything in. So, okay, that's good. I got through all this. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts or comments about what we've gone over so far? I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment. And then I'm going to reshare my screen. Okay, so this is my Canva account, and you can see that I have a lot of different things going on here. So when you go into Canva, you create. Now we have purchased the Pro. I'm not getting any kickbacks from Canva here, so there is a free version you could use. We went ahead as a business and just paid for the Pro. It's really inexpensive for a year, well worth it. So you can see. Actually, let's look at these two, the small business sessions. That was a flyer that we did send out about this and the next two sessions that are coming up. And then I actually just grabbed that center of it for another thing that I put out on Facebook. I didn't want to put the whole thing on there, and exported that as a PNG. So let's just create something. Does anybody have we're going to do like the improv stuff. Somebody shout out an event or something coming up. Melanie or Council of the Arts, you guys got anything coming up that you want to create something for? So quiet. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and create a social media post. Those are probably the easiest ones. You can see Instagram posts. They're already sized for what you need. It works beautifully every time. So I'm going to do a Facebook post. Let's see. Kim, what's something we need to talk about here at the chamber then?
Gift certificates.
There you go. We'll do another one for gift certificates. So I'm going to search thousands of templates, and I'm actually going to just search for Christmas because that's what I want to do. You can see now immediately it pulls up. All of these are templates that I can use, and I'm going to steal. I like this little snowman. He's adorable. So, and that's a whole poster. So I don't know that I want to do him as a poster. See, I haven't rehearsed. This is the fun part where you just get to figure it out. Categories. We have 40,000 templates here that we could use for Christmas. So I want to do, let me add Facebook in there. There we go. Now we have a little bit better. There we go. That's lovely. Let's do that one. Christmas Facebook post. And we're going to click to customize this. Now it's here in my templates, and I can edit this, and I can say right here, this is literally how simple this is. You know, don't forget, you can. I have to keep moving you guys around. I apologize. Now this I would change this font. I'm just making this up on the fly. I am not a fan of real scripty fonts for things. If it's just a Merry Christmas, we love you, that's great. So up here, I can change that script to be the same one or the font to be the same one that is already used up above where it says Merry Christmas. Mm-hmm. And then I can give them a call to action. I can actually put a link right in there to put a little box in there. Now the box is going to be a weird color probably. If you have any questions or you think I'm doing something completely out of my mind, just shout out and, oh, come on. There we go. And if you watch, can you see that little purple line up here? It's actually letting me know that I've got that lined up vertically with the things that are above it. I can choose a color, and it's actually going to give me up here on the left the colors that are already existing in this document, which is wonderful. I don't have to try to figure out a good color that's going to work. And I can put some text in here, and it'll say, you know, add a subheading. That should be a pretty good size. Drop that right on top of that green. I want to make sure that that is a color that's going to be a high contrast. Bold and order here. And then I would put a link right into our website where it goes straight to the order form for our gift certificates. And so when I put that out on Facebook, they can click on that ad and it will go straight to that place. So
we will have a link when you put it to Facebook then? It
probably won't. I'll probably have to add that as a link. I would do that just as a link in the post. But they're going to, it doesn't matter because to them, if they click that where it says order now or anywhere on there, it's going to go there. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. So, yep. All right. Any other questions or something you want to see? You can upload your own images. So like Melanie and I are working on the impact stuff. You can see Melanie where I've uploaded that. I went out to, oops, I just changed the photo. Went out to Bean's Facebook page. That looks awful. I can't even. So now where's my undo? Where's my undo? It's usually right up there on the top. Oh, there it is. Top left.
Yeah.
Undo. Sorry. So, you know, you literally by clicking on that, clicking on something, it will plug it right in there. We don't want that in there, but So you can upload your own things. We've got our small business session logo, and it saves those for you. The other really nice thing for your uploads, and that's what I was talking about before, and I've got to find it here, are styles. So these are the colors that sort of we use here at the chamber for different things. Those are our sort of our style guide. And then I also have my impact palette that I just created last week when I was creating a flyer for impact in Canva. So those can be right there, and anytime that it's something that you're likely to use and pool, you can do that. All right. Anything else that anybody wants to see in? I mean, I could sit here all day and play with Canva and show you lots of things. The elements are where you're going to get your shapes, your graphics, and it's already, because I searched for Christmas, it's already plugging Christmas things in there for me.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. But if I wanted to search for like the dog that I used in the dog thing, photos, videos, graphics, you name it, it's amazing tool to have.
Have you made any videos off of this?
I have not played with the video stuff a lot yet, so that's a no, Ernie. I'm very curious. They're constantly adding things, and I have not. We can throw on. We can. Let's do a video. Let's do it. Let's just do it. So hold on. I'm gonna actually close this, and it saves it, so I don't even have to think about saving anything. I have to minimize you guys. You're covering too much of my screen here. There we go. Close that. Let's see. Yeah, so a lot of them are like
They're like pre-made.
mm-hmm. So they're actually little clips that you could add into making a longer video. Yeah, that's not something I've had a big call for, so I have not messed with those a lot yet, but it's a really powerful tool for folks to use. All right. So any final wrap-up questions here before we end our session?
How much did you pay for it? Your subscription? Do you remember?
Boy, you know, I didn't look it up. I'm thinking it's around 150 for the year or something. I mean, it's nothing. It's really, if you're a business, it's really nothing. Kim's going to look it up. She's so good. And it depends too, like SurveyMonkey and some other things. It depends on how many team members you want. So you could have up to so many people. Oh, I didn't even talk about the sharing part. One of the great powerful things too, and Melanie just got an email from me on that impact flyer. So I've created that impact flyer. I can now share that file through Canva with the whole team. So with Melanie, with Leah, with April, they all got an email this morning. I said, here's where the flyer is. If they see something when they're looking at it, that's just a small, oh, there's a misspelling or something, they can go ahead and correct that.
Nice.
If they have the link. They don't have to send it back to me to correct. They can correct that. They can make a comment or something if they wanted to, throw a little text box in there and make a comment. Kim and I are actually both team members on that account. So she can actually see everything that's on that account. So you can have up like the lowest grade, which is what we got, was up to 3 team members. But then I can also share that with people that aren't the team members. So it is a nice, and the more team members you give, the more you're going to pay.
Okay.
Yep.
It is not easy for me to find the price because it was on the credit card.
Yeah.
So it's not in the file. I thought I was like, I can't,
Yes.
I can't do that quickly.
You're fine. I was
I
just
mean, it wasn't
wondering.
expensive for what we can do.
It's very reasonable. It is very reasonable. And especially like we were looking at, the reason we started using Canva, like I said, is we were looking at, I really felt like we needed, for the weekly update and different things, a good source of stock photography for exactly the reasons that I was talking about. And I was looking at some different things, and Kim said, well, I just signed up for Canva for my other business, and it's great. And so we started looking at it. It's like, oh, well, here's the solution for us. And now as we've gotten into it over the last year, it just has been amazing to learn the different things that you can do through it. So
Nice.
it's
Good.
very helpful.
Also, if you don't if you don't pay for that whole thing, like if you're not going to use it that much, you can buy an image without the watermark for like $1.
Yeah. There
or
are a lot of
something.
different ways you can go about it. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, because I know for DECA, they have their own account, but I made a personal one and there was a watermark on it, and it wasn't that expensive to just get that off there. So,
Right.
because we don't post too much, but
Yeah, I just, like I said, with a weekly update, wanting to be able to throw, happy 4th of July or Labor Day, those templates are already done where you just boom, add the logo or something to it, and it looks like it, it makes you look really good. So it makes life easy. And I find that I'm doing a lot more customized social media, a lot more customized things because it is so easy to do in Canva.
Right.
All right.
Thanks, Peggy.
You're welcome. Hopefully we learned some things today.
Yes.
And I will, like I said, I'll send those links out for where to watch the videos. I find that I use them more. It's like, oh, how do I want to use videos? So I'll go watch the video one. Everybody learns differently. I'm more of I want to learn when I need something rather than watching them all at one time. But yeah. So, and don't send things out with the wrong information on them. That's the
Right.
the number one takeaway. No, it does. It's helpful to know, to watch that. All right. Well, thank you all. I'm so thrilled that we were able to do this today, and have a very happy holiday. And we will be back in January with a presentation about becoming a minority or women-owned business from the state of Ohio. So I'm very excited to learn more about that myself. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you
Awesome.
guys.
Thanks,
Have a
Peggy.
great day.
thank you.
You too.
Bye.